Well, good evening, everyone. This is Sue, the Soggy Stamper. I just had to pop on tonight to show you how to make this card. I've been working on it for several days with different varieties. It's a side slider, and it opens up like so. Isn't that cool? And then it closes back up, and it opens up this way so that you can write a greeting on the inside. But before we get started on this, I want to show you I want to announce the Metallic Magic is a new Stampin' Up! Hot foil system. It's really, really awesome. And it has a variety of dyes. Some actually are in bundles where you can cut out the die. This is a butterfly one. And you get this die that will cut out the image. And then this is the hot foil die. It doesn't cut through at all. You lay it on the platform. Like this. So you lay the die on the platform. Heat the platform first. After the platform, the light comes on. Let's turn it around like this. After this light comes on and it's solid, you put your die on, and then you lay, let's see here, silver, where's my gold? Here's my gold. You lay the foil on top. I thought I had an extra piece. You get 2 rolls in a package, which is bought separately from the system. But you lay a piece of foil on like that, and you put your cardstock on top of that, and then a couple plates, and then you run it through, slowly through the die cutting machine. When you get done, you pull off the foil, and where it has not been heated, you will get the foil comes off, but at the heated spots, it is, oh, and I don't have a sample. I gave my samples away. Anyway, at the heated spots, it will be gold. I'm going to demonstrate this later this week on my Fabulous Friday, but I just had to let you know about it. Comes in 3 colors of foil. You can get silver, gold, or pink. And I had to let you know about it because it's going to be available to buy on at midnight on July 10th. And I think you'll really, I'm so excited because you buy these cards. Let me get one. At the grocery store, you buy a card like this. A card like this, my husband got this for Valentine's Day, I believe. And this is the gold foil. And this is the kind of thing we can now do with our own stuff. This also is hot foil for the greeting there. We don't have these kinds of dies yet. They're just getting started, so we have a selection of dies and this printout thing. So it shows a variety of dies that you can get. The butterflies are, besides having the cutting die, you have stencils so that you can color the image. This one is just, this one doesn't cut out, it's just the hot foil die. Just this. And it makes a nice background. And you can get the stamp set, you can buy it as a bundle with the stamp and the die, the hot foil die. Now the system altogether, which includes the platform and a cord and some other things that you need to use it, is $160. I have compared the price. There are some other I went online to see, okay, so how much do hot foil companies do? Are they available elsewhere? And the price is very much comparable. So let's get on with this card. I'm going to start with a card base that is 10 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I gotta round up my Actually, before I get started with that, I want to show you. This was the first one I made, following the directions. They are from Stamp Your Card, and they were in metric, but she converted them to imperial as well. I did it backwards, so it pulls out this way. Hers pulled out this way, but I happened to glue down the wrong one. But this was a Father's Day card that I made. And I made it with cardstock, both the sliding portion and the card base. So it's a little bit thicker. And so I decided that if we made the card base of cardstock, but then the sliding elements of the two-tone cardstock, it would be not nearly as thick and bulky. So this was the next one I made. And so I've got You're in My Thoughts. I just love this designer series paper. And this comes from the Sunshine Coast bundle. And then it has the inside where you can write your greeting. And after I made that one, I thought, let's make it with this designer series paper instead. So that's, and hopefully I have made it enough now that I can make it without a mistake. But, when we go online, mistakes do happen. Okay, so the first thing you do is score this. It's 10 1/4 by 5 1/8, and we're going to score it at 5 1/8. 5 1/8. Now this does come out to be a square card, and you'll have to online. There are directions for making envelopes, so you can make an envelope to fit the square card. So anyway, score it there. And we'll burnish it. And then on the inside, to write on it, this is 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. And I'll put that on the inside. If I was going to stamp a greeting, I would stamp first, but I'm just going to handwrite. So I'll put that down. And then this is the designer series, part of the designer series paper. Oh, what's the name of it? Good grief, can't remember. The Valley in Bloom. I'm one of these people who can't remember authors either. You know, somebody will say, oh, I just love this author, or remember the star of such and such a movie, and I'm going, I don't remember their names at all. Okay, this designer series piece of paper is 4 3/4 square. You can make it a little bit smaller if you wanted, because it's going to be this area. So you could make it quite a bit smaller if you were being very conservative with your paper. And this is another beautiful reverse side. Okay, so there's their card base, and we're done with that for a time. We'll set it aside. Next, we're going to make this element, the slider element. Get these out of the way. I'll be using this die and the leaves to decorate the front of the card, like that. And the stamp set, so grateful for you, and a little thanks. So get those out of the way. Okay, so you need 2 pieces of paper that are 9.5 by 5 3/4. And you're going to do each one exactly the same. You're going to score at 1 inch with the short end up against the thing at 1 inch, and then you're going to score along the long side at 4 3/4. So 4 3/4. And we'll do the same thing on the second one. 1 inch and turn it. 4 3/4. So now I am using two-tone. It's a little bit lighter, and this is Granny Apple Green. And there's a light side and there's a dark side. And I want to use the dark side, so I'm going to fold my folds in like so, my score lines. So it lays out like this. Let's do both of them at the same time. Okay, so you've got them laid out like so. This is not, isn't going to be in the way, but I'll erase it anyway. Okay, so you're going to remove this section here on both of them. So the 1 inch flap on the right hand side stays, and on the left hand side you cut it off. Bring back in the turner. Put that at 1 inch. And you're going to score along that score line. You're going to cut along that score line up to the other score line. And then this should be a 4 3/4. You can do this by hand if you prefer. My hand's a little unsteady. Okay, so I want two the same. So I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. Cut off the left-hand side of the 1-inch flap. Up to the score line. And then turn it at 4 3/4 where the score line was. I'll just pull that out. Okay, so the next step is to take this corner and you're going to fold it up to the score line like so. Making sure you can fold it over. Yep, that works. That works good. Now you're going to take from the upper left corner and you're going to fold it down to meet the score line. Like that. So that goes down. No, actually it goes like that. And burnish your folds well. So you're going to have a piece that looks like this. And we'll do the same thing for this one. The bottom right corner up. And the top left corner down. Doesn't look too even. Okay, now I'll straighten it out a bit. So they're going to fit together like this. One inside the other. This fold is not very good. I'm going to have to work on it. Oh, that's why. It needs to be more along the line here. Once you make a fold and you get it wrong, you could score these, but I found that the scoring didn't help either. It was easier to just fold it over. Oh, come on. Oh, I was working on the wrong one. This is the one that needed to be straightened. Okay, corner, down to the corner. You know what? There's a solution to that. It's this corner sticking out here that was making it not go together. I'm just going to trim it off. go in like this, and they are supposed to meet up tight. And that's better, much better. Okay, so now we're going to make some sliders. I'm going to take, unfold this, so this flap is down, and we're going to make a slit here. In this section, I'm going to turn it around this way, because I like working up close. So you're going to make it, put this edge on the 1/2 inch mark, and then you're going to cut from 1.5 inches up to 4. Then slide it over slightly, just a little bit, and come back down to the 1.5. And then you have yourself a little slit. Come on. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to put in this area here. So you put it at 1/2 inch. Go from 1.5 up to 4. Slide it over, not a whole lot, and come back down to the 1.5 inch. Now this slot's a little wider than the other one, but it'll work. It may work a little better than the skinnier one. We'll have to see. Okay, so we have 2 pieces with slots on them, like so. Next thing we need is a strip that's 1.5 by 1/2. So 1.5 inches long, and this piece of cardstock is 1 inch wide. So I'll do it 1.5. And cut it in half, like so. And then we're going to be doing some scoring with them. First score is at 1/4 inch. And then at 1/2 inch. Then you skip over to 1 inch. And then over to 1.25 inch. So we have this little strip, and we're going to make mountain folds on either side of that there, like so, and valley folds on the 1/4 inch score lines, like so. So it comes out looking like that. Can you see if you can see it? Can you see? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with the other one. First 1/4 inch score. Then at the 1/2 inch. At the 1 inch. And at the 1.25 inch. fold down and down, back and back. So we have that kind of a shape. Okay, now we need 2 squares that are a 1/2 inch square. So we'll take this scrap here, which was 1 inch, and then we'll put this in 1/2 inch. Stay. And we have our 2 squares. Now these legs, these 2 pieces here, come up through the slot. Oh, come on. Through the slot. And flare out. I'm gonna get back under there. Oh, you guys. Cooperate. Like so. And then we take a little bit of glue. And put the 1/2 inch square on top. Be careful not to get glue on the underside of that. So this then slides like so. I think I had too much coffee today. My hands are really shaky tonight. But it just goes to show you can still create. Some of the tools like the stamp positioner are really helpful if you have shaky hands. Okay. And that one should slide freely. Yep, that works. Okay. So they're going to fold up like so. And this section is going to show. And we have, okay, then a piece of designer series paper, this 4 3/8 by 4 3/8, and that is this one, 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. I'm going to cut it diagonally. Sure I get this right. So it's going to go on this piece and this piece. I can just fold that over. I contemplated this design side, except for the fact that it's so directional. And I want this to be right at the diagonal fold. Like so. So when you put them together, and you pull them apart, that shows. Okay, so the next step, actually let's put on the front bit of the paper. This one, this piece is 4.5 by 4.5 because I didn't want to have a mat showing and I wanted it to meet exactly. So 4.5 by 4.5, I'll cut it on the diagonal. Now this time you have to be careful. The diagonal of the front of the card is going from upper left to lower right. And so I want my diagonal cut of my designer series paper to do the same thing. Upper right to lower, upper left to lower right. Take this one, I'm going to put it right on here, again with it lining up right against the fold. You could do it after you've got these together, the two sliding pieces, but I think it's a little easier to do it when they're still flat. Want the corners to be flat. Okay, there's one. And one pair of messy fingers. And that goes like so. So when you put the two halves together, it's pretty close to it. Now let's turn this over. Make sure that the sliders are over to their edge. The first time I made this card, I made a mistake and I had it somewhere over here. Lo and behold, it wouldn't open. So you're going to just glue this down on both sides. How did I get glue up there? So now you should be able to slide it apart, yes. And slide it together. Perfect. Now this corner kind of pokes up. Let's see, one of these we can, yeah, this corner kind of pokes up. I'm going to tack it down, make sure that it still can slide. And I can tack this corner down too. Just a little bit to make the card a little bit flatter. Okay, so now we're going to put it onto the card base. It's going to glue on top like that. I think I'm going to trim this a little bit. It's bugging me that the fold isn't straight. Let's see if I can get it to straighten out a little bit. Much better. Just a little bit, but it was, like I say, it was bugging me. Okay, so that goes on like so. We want this side to slide. So we're going to put glue on here and just this much of the triangle. Because you want this to be able to slide, so you got to be sure you don't glue it down. I'm going to make sure that glue doesn't get there. Make sure the guard opens right. Ugh, that would have been disastrous. And you just glue it down to the card base. And if I've done it right, this side, yes, it slides. Yahoo! Now I need a little sign that says pull. So I took some of the Designer Series paper, and I used the small label from the postage stamp dies to cut it out. I'm going to fold it in half because I don't need it that long, but I needed to have it sturdy. And I'm going to write pull. Gonna glue the ends together. And then I'm going to put some glue on here. And I'm going to stick it in the middle, approximately, like so, of this. So we have it open and shut. Like so. Okay. Now to do a little bit of decorating for it and stamping. In the center, I am going to stamp, thank you, a little thanks. I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock, which is one of the colors of the Designer Series paper. You could stamp this on a little basic white circle and put that down there, but I like it just that way. And then up on the right hand side, I've got So Grateful for You. Oh, don't need that one. So Grateful for You. I'm going to put that up here in this window, this section. So Grateful for You. And I have die cut leaves with adhesive sheet on the back. So I have used these leaves because they also emboss. And then I have die cut this. I had originally planned to have it so that the flowers hung over like so, but I discovered that the stem is too fragile and the flowers were flopping every which way. So I made it shorter. Oh, first off, I have to take this out of the die. Yes, of course. And the adhesive is on the back side. Oh, come on. Once you get it started, it comes off easy. There we go. Now it's starting. Like so. And then the leaves. I'm going to lift up this flower. I'm going to try to lift up this flower and slide the leaf under it. Maybe another one. Ugh. I think I'm going to lift the flowers. Put the leaves down first. Because I've got to be able to get the leaves to fit on. Okay, flowers, your turn. There, how about that? That works. So here you go. Just pull it out, a little thanks. Close it back up again. And on the inside, you can write your message. So thank you for watching. This is Sue, the Soggy Stamper. Rain or shine, it's stamping time. And my blog is soggystamper.com. If you need any of these supplies, if you're interested in the hot foil system, you can just go to my blog, and in the upper right hand corner click on Shop 24/7, and it'll take you directly to our my online store. If you have any questions, email me, sue@soggystamper.com, and I will put this video up on YouTube so that you can rewatch it as often as you need. Thank you for watching, and come back next Friday at 7 o'clock when I show you how the hot foil system works. I am really, really, really happy with it. So, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful week. Not weekend. Have a wonderful week. And we'll see you Friday. Bye-bye.